Hey guys, my name is Clemente and this video is all about using technology and digital tools for the learning environment. And one of my favorite things to use personally is actually the iPad. And that's because with the iPad you can actually connect a Bluetooth keyboard on it and you can use it like a small laptop. So it actually gives students the ability to use this device as a regular computer but in class, and it's mobile, so you can move it around, you can take it around with you, and it's actually a handy thing to have for yourself. The other thing that's very good with it is that you can actually upload apps. And then we also have Quizlet, we have so many things. You can also create a Facebook profile or Facebook group where all your students can actually join, and it's an easier, faster way for you to communicate with them. Because I think that the majority of our kids are spending more time on Facebook than anywhere else, sometimes even checking their emails. So I think that's kind of important for us to be able to keep up with them and keep up with the times, keep up with technology and different things like that. So it's actually a great way of using it. The other thing that personally we use at school is ManageBack. And ManageBack is a great site to use because you can actually post your assignments on here. You can post any kind of information that the students need, and this information gets emailed to them and students have access to them. They can follow their different grades, their reports, different things like that, so you can check it out. And a great aspect about this is actually they have this little thing right here, the Dropbox. And in the Dropbox, it actually allows them to turn in their assignments, especially if they have essays, projects, different things like that. They get to drop it in there, and then this Dropbox is connected to something called Turnitin.com, which actually shows and how much of it was plagiarized or was borrowed from other sources. So it's actually a great way to keep up with that. The vlogs, I know we use a lot of vlogs in our cohort, in our group. Personally, I'm not a big fan of vlogs. I think it's a lot of time spent on them, and I prefer my students to use that time to do research, to write a good paper, rather than vlogging. It's just my personal opinion. I personally prefer them writing essays, projects, research papers than actually using a vlog. Something nice about all of this, especially with the iPad, is that the students can actually use it no matter what level they are. And something that's great with this is that they can actually program it to their languages. We have students from all over the world in our school, in our class specifically. It's great because the students can actually program it to the language that they use or feel more comfortable with. And it's easier for them to maneuver, to manage, and to be able to do this on their own, and to be able to find things much easier. Sometimes when English is not your first language, it's a bit difficult to know how to use technology. But if it is in your language, it's a lot easier. You pick it up, you can figure it out for yourself. And so that's another great thing about using the iPad, the language options that you have. Also with, for example, Quizlet, you can also put in the language that you want them to use. You can put it all in English and then you can translate it into their language. It takes a lot more time, but again, once you have it, once you've used it, then you can save it and use it on later on with another group. The nice thing about this is that it goes great for different levels. For those beginners, they can take as much time as they need to go over things, to study them, especially with Quizlet. Quizlet is actually great because you're going to your speed. So what you're doing is you're actually going through the flashcards, vocabulary and definition, so you can actually learn it, and you can do it as slow as you want, at the speed that you want, and then you can do these different activities that can actually measure how much of it you've learned, and then it gives you a scale, it gives you a graph, how much you've done, how much you need to work on it, and then you can redo it. So you're actually just competing, or you're trying to beat your own score. Like I said, I highly recommend these different apps. And I personally prefer the iPad over a computer just because it gives you so many more options. So with touchscreen, you can do the apps on here, you can do video on here, you can do pretty much anything you can do on here, and then you can use it like a computer, just connecting the keypad on it. So yeah, so I really hope you guys take a look at this and just, hopefully you guys learn something and, share with me. Share what your favorite activity or your favorite digital tool is.